Hello, dear friends, my lovely audiences, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the East West Show. Jack Chow, your host. You're a lovely host. I know you like me. All right, with GDE TV, we really want to make sure that every time when election comes, we pick up nothing, nobody, but the best. That's why the show today, as a title, we call it We Want Only the Best. Why? Are we selfish? No. We are trying to be responsible.
That's right.
Yeah. To the community, including to ourselves. Without putting the best on the job, you're just failing yourself. That is what we call, it is upon me to get that man, that person, who he, she is on the job. Otherwise, you're just abusing your democracy right. Okay. With me today is my good friend, a brother to the community, Mr. Bob Lindsay, a former LASD commander, and he's been there for 32 years.
Right, Jay.
If you put 7 years on top when he was in the Corps service, you're talking about 39 years in policing, in public safety, public security. So out of those many, many years, there are 28 glorious years he was on leadership position, right? He's been everywhere in the department, all kinds of, including jails, including highway, including recruitment, and including personnel, all kinds of. Well, I'm so comfortable that things are looking, well, better and better. So we are flattered to have him once again on the show to update himself, update the audience about himself with his campaign. Bob, you're seriously welcome.
Thank you.
Please.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, good, good. So how are things going so far?
Excellent. I've got to tell you, the community, and I have been out in all of the communities, and they are so receptive. And that's what we need to do, is be out with the community and have them talk to us, tell us what their issues are.
All right.
And when somebody in uniform steps up to them, don't be afraid, because we're there to help.
In other words, you have started already your promise, like last time at the ending, you were announcing that you will put up a advisory board, right?
That's correct.
For the community safety, for the job, right?
We are already in the process of putting advisory boards together. So if you, like I mentioned to you, we would love to have you on board, and if any of your listeners,
I would love to, yeah.
any of them, your viewers want to be a part of that, we would love to have them call you, and we will make them a part of the community advisory committees that we're putting together right now.
That is probably, I have a feeling that you are changing the culture.
It has to be changed.
From bottom up, right?
It has to be changed. And from the community. You know, if the sheriff's department only listens to itself, it's only going to be as good as itself. But when you listen to the community, so many ideas come in. And we get trained by the community as to what they need, what they want, and then we service them better. If we don't know what the need is, it's impossible to serve it.
All right, very good. And how is your endorsement?
Excellent. We have endorsements coming in from all over. But what I would like to have is any of your viewers who are endorsing me, or businesses, if they could give you a call and say that they do support this campaign, we would love to have them contact you.
Yes, of course, my dear friends. I know that behind this camera, there's a lot of friends who even remain my personal friend level. Well, they like the show. They like the concept of getting only the best to the job. If you happen to be the one that you feel that you want to support, you want to endorse, or you want to endorse on behalf of your organization,
Yes.
right? So give me a call, and you can send an email to me, tellmydj@gmail.com, which is here. And you can call the office line 626-856-3889 to let me know how you want to get involved. In other words, like I said this many times, that it is your own backyard you're talking about. It's not somewhere somebody else, right? It is ours we care about. So I will send you guys invitation, person by person, to organizations that I know of, to ask your opinion about your possible endorsement whatsoever for the purpose of LA as a county.
Right? Absolutely.
Right.
I look forward to them contacting you. They can also go to my website if they want to learn more about me.
Mm-hmm. And you know, Bob, the other day I shared my view with a friend of mine, Mr. Bruce Whitaker, Mayor of Fullerton.
Yes.
And we discussed about a mindset quite a bit, right? So of course, for somebody running for an office like your size, you have to have that kind of experiences that nobody even come up near, right? 32 plus 7, that's 39 years. Right. And how many 39 years can you live for a lifetime, right? That's half, almost, well, more than half.
Well, I hope I live 39 years.
I would do 4, right? Let's do that, okay. But anyway, you're talking about lifetime experiences. That's it. That's not all. And you have to have a mindset to match it, to match with it. How do you explain about the mindset? I believe that you guys kind of like people, like-minded people.
Well, you know, a mindset, and you're talking about running for sheriff. Okay, the mindset to run for sheriff is when you come into the department, and I came to the department when I was 22 years old. I was a baby.
All right.
I mean, in regards, I didn't know anything.
Compared to the department, though,
That's right.
Yes.
And then you go through the academy, and then you go into the jails, and then you go to patrol, and then I happened to go through 24 more assignments.
Wow.
In this time, and it was gangs, it was patrol,
narcotics,
you name it, 24 of them, and even trained. I was the trainer for all of the field training officers out in the field. It was a very, very high position that when you're training everybody in every station across LA County, that is a big responsibility. But the mindset has to be always that when you come on to be a deputy sheriff, it's like when you go on to be a doctor. Doctors don't come on to say they want to hurt somebody. They say they want to come on to help everybody. They want to save lives. They want to stitch people up. They want to make them feel better. And it's the same thing with a policeman. They want to come on to help people and do those things. So when you say the mindset, after 40 years of service, you have to still keep that mindset that you want to help people. You don't give up. You never give up. And right now, in Los Angeles County, there's a lot of people who aren't being helped. Crime is way up. It's up through the sky right now. I mean, it's victims. They're being ignored. These are the people, when you're a victim of a crime, you want somebody to care. And when you don't think somebody cares, now you're victimized twice.
Yes, you're right.
You're victimized twice. So we really have to get a handle on taking care of people in this community. We have to get there faster. We have to help them more.
That is very, very well stated. I would have to put something on top. The community so far has created a kind of a fear about them because they don't do their job right away. For example, the example you gave me for a shop being robbed, being burglarized or whatsoever, being burglarized, and the chasing officers got punished. And just to try to put yourself in the shoes of the shop owners, say, hey, I'm hopeless, I'm helpless, right?
That's
so
right.
For everybody has insurance, everybody buys insurance. Now that everybody has insurance, we can go to insurance for problems, why do we need a police department?
That's right. You know, people just want, and as a citizen, forget that I'm a police officer. Just as a citizen of Los Angeles County, as a resident of Los Angeles County, as somebody visiting Los Angeles County, I just want to be protected. I just want to be safe.
That's a that's an even more sounding statement, because if I could quote from Confucius of China,
Please.
No, do not do anything that you do not want anybody to do to you.
Yes.
Right? Now, you want something happen to you, you do the things you want that thing happen to you. Right? So now, that's the mindset I'm talking about.
Right.
That's the mindset I'm talking about.
Well, you know what? Good people walking down the street don't expect bad people to do something to them. Because the good people don't think about that. They just go about their daily business, their shopping, taking the kids to school, being good people. And then when a bad person steps up and they rob you, or when you're gone, they break into your house and steal all of your things, that's when we need to be compassionate. The sheriff's department needs to be there. The sheriff's department needs to understand the community. The sheriff's department needs to speak the language.
Yeah,
the sheriff's department needs to do all of these things. That's why when we had the Asian Crime Task Force, that's why when we go out into the community, it's important for us, for law enforcement, to not just be law enforcement. It's important for us to care to be like and in the community.
I especially like the part that you say that we are one of you. I myself, quote unquote, from you, first a citizen of LA County. And then what I want LA County to be, exactly what I want to do for LA County. All right?
That's right.
Yeah, that's logic. That's the simple logic. My dear friends, my lovely audiences, we're really talking about serious subject today. When you were talking about LA as a county is the biggest, largest county of the whole United States, if not the world. It has 10 million people already in population, and it governs 153 cities and areas, or immediate areas, or cross-up areas, with 88 cities, and with all kind of a job, like say, the jail, the traffic, and a highway, training, crime, also crime, and everything. So we really want to use a term that we put ourselves in their hands. Well, what kind of hands we're talking about? So that is the subject today. Okay, now, with me today, my friend Bob Lindsay, former commander of LASD, LA County Sheriff Department, and he's running for the sheriff. So let's stay for a moment. We'll be back on the discussion talking about Special Task Force.
Yes.
Right, stay with us, please. Hello, dear friends, my dear fellow Angelinos or Angelinas, whoever happens to be on the territory of LA County. As a county, though, you really want to be interested in the subject we're talking. It is about your own safety, all right? Your wife, your kids, your whoever, your family, and even your life. Okay, now, it is really a term that we want to put our life, everything, in their hands. And they are so trusted that we want to do just one thing. Okay, you take care of me, like that kind of thing, right? So now, with the status quo of the LA County Sheriff Department, though, we have a hard time express ourselves how disappointed we are, right? Not only the crime rate goes up, but also officers and deputies are discouraged to do their jobs, according to lots of discussions and lots of investigations and lots of readings myself. Right. Now, you mentioned one fact. That is a very, very of core value that you take yourself as one member of the community. And the other day, at the other discussion, you mentioned about that they are my brothers and sisters. Not only that, but they are my eyes and ears. Am I right? I want you to stretch the concept to cover the aspect about the Asian Task Force. I'm really, really interested in that, that special force.
You know, Jack, at the end of the day, when you go to work and we take off our uniform and we go home, we have wives, we have kids, we have grandbabies. We're just human.
Yes.
We are just human. And we have to have that human side about us even when we're wearing the uniform. We don't forget that.
That's a good take.
And so when we go out, we have to understand that the Chinese community, the Asian community, everybody that is out there has their lives and their countries and the things that they hold dear to them, their cultures.
All right.
They all need to be understood.
All right.
All of them need to be understood.
I agree, yeah.
With that, you mentioned the Asian Crime Task Force. That was Sheriff Baca's way to go out and completely understand the community. It is so much easier for Jack to walk out into his community and understand his community than it is for Bob.
You're right. You are right.
But when I walk out into the community with Jack and Vincent and several other people who know the community, I can get educated. I become much smarter and more effective.
And vice versa.
And vice versa. The Asian Crime Task Force was built to solve crimes in the Asian community fast. No delay. Let's go out there, let's get bad people, and let's do something with them. It was also designed to help victims so that they would feel cared for, so that they would feel that somebody was there, so they could pick up the phone and call that police officer and say, I've seen this, I've seen that, I need help, and they would have somebody else on the end of that telephone that understood them, that understood the crime, and that would be there immediately.
Exactly, exactly. That reminds me of a story that Tom Yu told the other day at the forum.
Yes.
About one incident that he was involved, right? So I believe that, of course, I'm convinced. I'm so convinced that I want to say the story again. But I would rather let you tell the story about how to prove the fact, how the Asian Task Force works better, faster, and a more effective way.
Well, you know, as investigators, we do the best we can, but we have certain skills. The Asian Crime Task Force has special skills.
All right, okay.
Very special skills. They understand the community. So if you go to investigators over here and ask them to solve a kidnapping, which is what Tom had.
All right.
He had a kidnapping. It was a brutal kidnapping where somebody was kidnapped, taken out to the desert, beaten, and all of those things. This team over here is not going to solve that crime very fast. They may not solve it at all. So the victim could be dead. The victim may be caught too late.
And last time Tom says that for 4 weeks nothing was done, right?
Well, they tried to take care of stuff.
Yeah, they were trying.
But they could not. Tom's team comes in and immediately they understand what's going on. They understand the criminals. They understand the things and where this person might be. And they go in and they solve it in less than 48 hours. And so the difference between not solving a crime and solving the crime is a difference between having or not having the Asian Crime Task Force.
The special technique, the special knowledge, the understanding of the culture, the understanding of the language even.
That's right. So what would have happened if the Asian Crime Task Force hadn't solved that? this kidnapper would still be in the community, kidnapping other people.
And the
doing what
victim
they're gonna
might have died.
Of course, the victim would have died.
Would have died, yeah.
Would have died.
Would have died in the desert, tortured, so on and so forth.
Right.
And for extensively long, that was about 4 weeks, Tom told me.
Yes.
But it was too long, extensively long.
Jack, it was months ago that I asked the current sheriff, please put the Asian Crime Task Force back in action to save the Asian community from these predators, from these people. He still hasn't done it. He still has not done it. It's been months, and he has the power to do it like that.
Okay. Why wouldn't he do it? Do you read his mind?
No, I don't read his mind. Politics, I don't know. I don't know why he would take such a perfect system and destroy it. Why he would take a unit so specialized and say that it's not needed when it is.
Is it because a simple equation, Lee Baca is in trouble, whatever he did, well, he got overturned everything he did? Lee Baca did something excellent.
Right. Well, I think there is a lot to that. A lot of the programs that Mr. Baca had were immediately destroyed because that was his legacy, and this sheriff wants his own. But it's not a good legacy.
So my suspicion is right.
Well, it's not a good legacy to destroy programs that work.
I know, yeah. but this is what's happening, this is what we see now, right?
Well, you know, Mr. Baca was very involved in the Asian community. He was involved in all of the communities. But this was proven to work. This was proven to be effective and to keep people safe. You don't take programs that keep people safe and eliminate them.
You're right. For example, I might be a bad guy, all right? Somewhere, somehow in my life, I may have done something very good. And you want to keep that part. Dismiss all the other, but keep that part.
Right.
So for the sake of LA County, for the sake of the community members.
Right, and Jack, you know, we don't even...
That is the logic.
We don't even talk about it, but you know, criminals. Criminals are very smart.
They learn.
They're not dumb. They learn from what's going on. And right now, the criminals know the Asian Crime Task Force does not exist.
It's gone.
They know it. And so they feel more compelled, safer, to be criminals. Whereas when the Asian Crime Task Force is operating, they feel more compelled to leave LA County.
Remember last time, is there Tom or John told the story about trying to arrest people at 11:30 somewhere, says, and the criminal says, like the suspect says, okay, I know you're off duty, okay? You're not supposed to touch me, okay? Go away from me. Something like that.
That was me.
Yeah.
And
tell my audience, please. I believe they will love to hear it.
Well, you know, I was working gang enforcement, and when I worked gang enforcement, we didn't work in one area. Wherever there were gang problems, we went there. This particular day, we happened to be working in what's called the one-ways in Norwalk. And we were in there, and we saw somebody that looked like they were doing some things that weren't right. They didn't belong there.
Something funny, yes.
Yeah, so we stopped them, and we talked to them, and then we told them, hey, you don't belong right here. You need to go home. You need to get out of the area. You need to go somewhere because what you're doing doesn't look right to us. And then I said, we'll be back to check and make sure you're not here. And he looked at me and said, no, you won't. And I said, what? And he said, you get off in 30 minutes.
You'll be off duty.
He knew we were a 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. car. The criminals know our shifts.
I see.
The criminals know when we're in briefing. The criminals know when we're going to be coming out to the areas.
I see.
They know. Now with cell phones, with everything else,
they call each other.
The very minute we're a quarter mile away, they're on phones, they're telling each other that cars are coming into the area. That's why the community is so
challenge.
important.
That's why you need the community even more.
Even more. Technology helps the police, but it hurts the police.
Now in front of a camera, in front of your audiences and your constituents for that fact, okay? So I'm going to check with you. Once you're in your office, you really want to restore the Special Task Force?
Oh, the Special Task Force is a priority.
Priority.
It's a priority, and it needs to be established immediately, and then they need to go back out and begin liaisoning with the advisory committees that we put together, and we talked about that. We need advisory committees from each of the Asian communities.
All right.
So that they can come in and we can then be briefed and catch up. We've fallen behind 3 years while this sheriff has been there.
Yeah.
We have
That's
completely fallen behind.
Exactly time, and maybe high time we did something. My dear friend, we all heard him loud that a promise was made that he will prioritize the necessity of this special task force once he is in office, right? So I really want to get to the point to get job done, right? So shouting slogans is one thing, to get hands on the job is the other. I really want somebody get their hands on the job. That's why I say as a title of the show, we want only the best, right? Let's take a short moment out. When we come back, we want to find out the best. How would the best do his job to overturn the culture? I believe the culture is wrong. So stay with us, please. Hello, dear friends, lovely audiences, Angelinos. Welcome back to the show. And it is a very, very positive show because we are about to see a better LA with the change of hands of the county sheriff department, the sheriff. Well, you know, if you understand the system of county sheriff department, though, you would understand the importance of the sheriff. Others are deputies. They are his deputies, right? He deputies the others to be the deputies. That's it. That's the whole thing. Now, you're talking about the one, nothing, nobody, the one. Who could, all right? Of course, he's not going to do the door-to-door search whatsoever himself, but he can, at the top level, turn things around, right? Now, I know you are a man. Oh, by the way, with me is my friend, Bob Lindsay. He is a former commander for LASD, and he's been on the leadership position for 28 glorious years. He knows the department so well, like the palm of his own hand. We're talking about how he wants to run the department once taking office. In other words, I'm checking on the checklist to the serious points one by one. I have a whole plan worked out that I need to check with him one by one. I'm not just endorsing him blind-eyed. No,
right.
I'm endorsing him because I believe he is the best. Right now.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you. Thank you for understanding my point. Right, my whole point is that to be responsible to help get a person who is the best for the job. And I will be later feel proud of myself. Oh, God, I did something right, like that kind of thing. And my audience will be, hey, Jack, good job, like that kind of thing, right? Okay, now, you mentioned last time about the discouraging culture for deputies. Of course, there are problems accumulated because of a shorthand. The shorthand was a result for no vision. The no vision reflects that there is no timely recruitment in line waiting to be or whatever, so on and so forth. And then it goes to at a point that you have to do overtime, so on and so forth. Forget everything. Forget all those related step by step. Just talking about the encouragement and the discouragement. How would you, once in office, encourage your deputies to do their job the fullest like they used to do? Please.
You know, when the current sheriff came to our department, the sheriff's department, he came from LAPD and Long Beach, two smaller organizations. And then he came into the largest sheriff's department in the world. It's gigantic.
Gigantic, yes.
It covers 4,100 square miles. It's got so many units that that you could write the units from the ceiling all the way down to the table.
Yeah. All right.
There are so many different things that you have to know in the sheriff's department. And he has been there 3 years. He won't know what he's doing for another 20 because he did not come up through the ranks of the sheriff's department.
Oh, yeah, all right.
Okay, so when he came in, he didn't know what to do. This is a sheriff who in his other experience, law enforcement experience, never had to hire because his other organizations for him did it. At LAPD, there's a whole separate unit that does his hiring. In the sheriff's department, you hire your own deputies.
Okay.
Okay? He didn't know how to do that. So for 3 years, he failed to do that. Last year, he lost 100 deputies. He didn't gain anything. He lost deputies.
Oh, my God.
So right now, we have 1,100 or 1,200 vacancies.
Oh, yeah.
Deputies that aren't there. He has the money. He has the cash.
Last time you mentioned about some numbers, say it's supposed to be at a reasonable level of 8,500 something, and now the dispatchables are only 5,000 or something. Are you saying from that point on we lost 100 more?
No. He has 1,100 vacancies. He has
1,100.
He has and 250 sergeants that aren't out there helping people. Okay, they're not there. He has the dollars for it. He has the money for it.
I see.
But he has failed to hire for 3 years. Now he's trying. He's trying, but he's trying way too late. And you know what he did? He pulled people in from England to tell him how to hire. Now, why would we pull somebody in from England to tell us how to hire here in Los Angeles County? I hired people for 6 years here in Los Angeles County. We hired somewhere in the area of 4,500, 5,000 people while I was there. I know how to hire.
We're lucky we don't have a consultant from Mars.
Well, I don't have to call England to fix this. That's for sure. So we can fix it.
Almost a joke.
We can fix it right from home by going into the communities.
Okay.
And just looking at the community, I'm going to ask you the question. Do you think there are qualified people in your community?
Oh, yeah, recommendations, right?
That could become deputy sheriffs?
I can recommend a few, my friend's kid, something like that.
All we need is 500 people to recommend 2 people, and we have solved our problem.
All right.
Right?
That's
for 1 year. But then we have to do that the next year and the next year.
For that, you have to have a vision. All right. I give you an example. Small as we are, right? Small as we are. Of course, we're big. Compared to CNN, we're small. All right. Small as we are, our recruitment is at a day-to-day business.
It is a day-to-day business.
Day-to-day business.
Yes,
we are hiring and hiring. You check about the ad on paper and on TV and on everything, even on radio. We go on and on and on and on as a constant business we're going, because you really have to have the vision. At the time when you need someone, you can't just drag somebody over the street, say, hey, do the job. No. You got to train them. Right?
So it
is a vision thing.
It's a vision thing, because think about it. It takes 6 months, 4 to 6 months. This department was taking a year under this sheriff. A year. A year or more. But it should take anywhere from 4 to 6 months to hire somebody.
I see.
You can do it in a shorter time, but 4 to 6 months. Then they have to go to the academy for another 6 months.
I see.
Then they have to go to jail training for another 3 months.
All right, okay.
Now, add up this time, that's already a year and a half.
The year and a half, yes.
So by the time you start catching up, every year the department loses 350 to 400 people.
In other words, you're talking about lap over.
Yes.
Right? You've got a time lap over.
That's right. And so you have all this time you have to wait to make a deputy, but you have deputies leaving every year, 350 or 400 to retirement, or being fired, or being injured.
Okay. That said, that is totally understood. I believe my audience will follow the logic. The logic being that you don't want to grab somebody and stuff it to the department and say, hey, do the job, because it's such a high-tech job. I mean, quote-unquote high-tech. You're talking about experiences, everything. Well, you can't. You got to start training over time, right? Like that kind.
Well, think about it. If you're running a restaurant and you lose most of your waiters and you don't hire anybody, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
The waiters you have are going to be overworked. The waiters you have, you're going to have to make them stay later. The waiters you have are going to get frustrated.
And that happens with the discouragement.
That's right. And then the waiters you have are eventually going to have to train all of these other people, which is going to even be harder for them while they're on the job. That's what's happening in the Sheriff's Department.
All right. That is the part of no timely training, no timely recruitment is related to the, or partially related to the discouragement.
To discouragement and the increase in crime.
Of course. Yeah, then that's for sure. And then how do you positively encourage those who are on duty to make them active rather than, well, just sluggish?
You empower them to do their jobs. Right now, this sheriff, when he came in, when you look at LAPD, they have a lot of people at the top, a lot of chiefs, and not a lot of Indians.
All right.
In fact, recently, LAPD announced they're taking people from all these different places and putting them in patrol. Right?
Okay.
That was a good move because they didn't have enough Indians.
Yeah.
This guy, this sheriff, has come in here and he doesn't have enough Indians because he's used to not having enough Indians. That's how he has always operated.
You're saying enough what?
Enough deputies.
Deputies.
So I mean, when you come in and you're taking and you're working the whole platform of trying to do law enforcement work, you need the hard workers down here at the working level, not so much all of these spots up at the top level.
Oh, yeah, sure. All right, okay.
The top level isn't going to come to your house and fix your problems.
I know what
They're
you're
not
talking
going to pull over the car that's shooting
about.
at the house. It's all of these people down here, the hardworking daily deputies.
Who are at the very bottom doing the actual work.
That's right.
Right? Door to door, street by street, block by block, something like that. Right?
That's right. And they're doing double work because they're told they can't go home because we don't have enough deputies to replace you with.
And they are tired?
Extremely tired.
And they went over their limit. And that's dangerous, isn't it?
Well, it's not only, it's dangerous from a lot of, being a police officer is a hard job. It's a very difficult job. You see things every day that most people don't see.
All right.
You see a lot of bad things. And then when you keep them there and force them to stay there seeing all those bad things and keeping them away from their families, the families get frustrated, the deputies get frustrated, and the deputies are tired.
All right.
I guarantee you, Jack, that there will come the time, and it's happened before when this happened, that a deputy is going to be so tired on the way home, they're going to crash, and it's going to be the end of their life.
All right. That's sad. All right. And I wish that won't happen anyway. Okay, that said, the whole thing said, does that mean that once you're in office, you want to put lots of emphasis or prioritize also the recruitment?
I know how to recruit. I know how to hire. I know how to find qualified applicants. And I'll tell you this, the deputies on the Sheriff's Department are very, very hopeful I will be elected. Right now, the deputies, if you went and asked a deputy, should I come to the Sheriff's Department and work here? They would likely look at you and say, no.
No.
No. Go somewhere else.
Not until Bob is in position.
Don't come here. Not now. And see, that's one of the reasons they're having trouble hiring, is because the deputies themselves are usually the best recruiters. But right now, they're saying, go away. This is not a good day to come to the Sheriff's Department.
I see.
You don't want to be here because this sheriff is not supporting the deputies.
Okay, that said, Bob, we're going to hold you accountable for recruiting officers, deputies, or making them in line for, well, to make up the vacancies, right? Yeah, so much you're talking about. My dear audiences, with me today, my friend Bob Lindsay, candidate for county sheriff, a former commander for LASD, and not a stranger. He is the one grown there, homegrown commander, and he started when he was 22 for 32 years altogether. I believe he has experiences. Today, I'm checking on those checking list to see how he will do the overturn of culture and including encouraging police deputies and the deputies, including that, of course, you can't skip over the part of recruitment, right? So that said, we would take a short moment out. When we come back, we will also find out another checkpoint, please. Hello, dear friends, my lovely audiences, Angelinas, welcome back to the show. Of course, today's show is so important. I would wish that everybody would get a chance to watch, because you're talking about our own LA County. And while talking about our own LA County, we rely upon our sheriff department to do the job to protect us. Yet, looking around, we found an unsatisfaction status quo. We find crimes are raising. We find they are understaffed, short-handed, right? And well, we can't let things go on like that, because LA County is the biggest county of the United States, and the LASD, LA County Sheriff Department, is the biggest police department of the entire world, isn't it?
It is.
Right? So, for that, you really need somebody who is nothing but the best, only the best on the job. And that, to my eye, and by my eye, I mean an eye from someone who's been on this position almost half my life, right? Meeting zillions of people, talking to all kinds of human beings. I have a taste, right? I have my own judgment, and I know my friend Bob Lindsay will be the one, and he is the one. Now, welcome back to the show. Right?
Thank you, Jack.
I'm checking, thank you for understanding my position. I'm not trying to give you a hard time. As a matter of fact, I want to make it clear to my audiences that this individual can take all situations, take control of all situations, because he is capable. And then, most important is that he is ready, right? Now, altogether, we find a word, culture, in there, right? I ask you to overturn, once in office, several aspects, but how do you want to change the culture? The culture being that if you check with a community member, they kind of afraid of deputies, right? And if you check with the deputies, they don't take a position like you just did, say, I'm one of them, right? There's a little gap in between, right? How do you fix it? How do you, is there anything that you have already once you're in office, please?
You know, Jack, we're already putting together community advisory groups.
All right.
We mentioned that earlier, but
Okay.
here's the thing. The community, I think, always wants to reach out to law enforcement, but they don't know how. You have to have a bridge that they can cross to get there. It's our job to build the bridge. And once we build the bridge, the community engages. The community, whether they love you or hate you, they'll engage. Now, when people hate you, they scream at you from across the street. What we need to do is build the bridge so we can sit down at a table and talk about our differences or talk about the issues. The victims in the Asian community, a lot of them don't report crimes. In the forum, we heard a business owner
say
of course, he's quit reporting the crimes. He has quit reporting.
He said almost every day something happens, right?
And when you quit reporting crimes, it doesn't go into the crime data. So therefore,
because of the trust.
Well,
they fail with their trust.
It doesn't show a crime occurred, so therefore everybody thinks that that area is safe. It's not safe. The crimes aren't being reported.
Not reflected.
It's not reflected. See, these are the things that can't happen but are happening every single day. That has to stop. We need to be there to help that business owner. We need to respond to his needs. We have to stop those burglaries. Because when you catch that burglar that's burglarizing him, when you catch those people that are writing on his windows and his walls, that person is doing it on 10 other places. And when you take that person and put him in jail. But see, here's the other problem, Jack. When you get arrested today, you don't do any time.
Yeah, you're right. That's exactly the other aspect I want to mention.
Criminals from Orange County and San Bernardino County and Riverside County, they all want to come to LA County. All of the criminals want to come here.
Why?
Because you don't do any time if you get arrested. If you get arrested and you're sentenced to 1 year in jail, you only do 10 days. That's just a little over a week.
Wow.
And then you're back out. So you go burglarize a businessman. The judge puts you in jail for a year, and 11 days later, you're out burglarizing the same businessman.
You're on the street doing the same thing again.
If you get sentenced to 6 months, you only go to jail to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner and leave. That's it. It pays to do crime in LA County, and everybody knows it. The policemen know it. The criminals know it. But the problem is the residents don't know that because this sheriff doesn't tell them. He doesn't say, hey, we only keep people in jail for 10 days on a year.
I see.
It's a secret.
I see.
Not any longer, though.
All right, okay. My God, that sounds very scary.
It is.
I have goosebumps. You want to show you?
Yes, please.
Anyway, so this is so scary. Okay, put everything together to change the culture. First, you want to start with your advisory board and to connect yourself with the community, such as to build a bridge, right? And secondly, how do you turn over the situation of the flash incarceration?
Well, and you have really done your homework.
Yeah, of course. The flash incarceration.
The flash incarceration, yes. So the bottom line is this. We need to keep inmates in jail longer. Now, some people are going to say, oh my gosh, he wants to keep criminals longer. He's a bad person because they're just good people that made a bad decision. No, they're criminals when they come to the jail.
Criminals are criminals once they are confirmed.
Once they're confirmed, once they're convicted. Everybody is innocent until proven guilty.
Yes, they are proven guilty, and well.
But when you have criminals, and I'm going to give you a perfect example. We have drug, opioids and everything. It's a big deal now. It's very scary.
Yeah.
But you have drug addicts throughout Los Angeles County. Right now, when a drug addict gets arrested, they will come to court, and the district attorney will offer them a drug program. This is where we want them to go. We want them to go get help. But you know what they're saying? I don't want the drug program. Forget the drug program. I want to go to jail. I want to go to jail. And they're going, no, 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 we want you in the drug program. No, I want to go to jail. Well, why do you want to go to jail? Because I know I'm only going for 1 day. If you even give me 6 months, I'm only going for 1 day. So you have all these addicts knowing that they can go around the system, not get help, and be out on the streets in a day if they only say, I want to go to jail.
I see.
That's not good.
That's not good.
So nobody's getting help, nobody's getting fixed, nobody's getting programmed.
I see.
And it's only getting worse.
I thought there is some holes, but now it doesn't look like small holes. They're kind of like landslide thing.
The dam broke.
The dam broke.
The dam broke.
The dam broke already, right?
Did. Yes.
So, well, we have to get serious this time, right? Bob, once you're in office, do something, right? What do you want to do to fix it?
There's so many things that need to happen, Jack, but I'm qualified to do it because I've got 40 years in that agency. The first thing you need to do is surround yourself with the right people. This sheriff, when he came in, kept all the wrong people. He was supposed to reform the department.
You're right.
He kept everybody at the top and started firing everybody at the bottom. You know what? If you take over a business,
okay, all right, good.
If you come and take over a business because the business is failing, do you just fire all of the employees and leave all the management there? That's what he did. He did it backwards. He did everything backwards. So you have to take a look at your management.
Exactly.
You have to see the management that's performing. That he didn't do. He gave them a free pass.
I'll give you a joke. In the old China, there's one of the warlord, Yan Xishan, right? They joke with his way of running his own army. And it says in the system, there are more officers than soldiers, and more soldiers than rifles, and more rifles than bullets. You see the logic?
It's a bad combination. I think it describes...
It goes that way, right?
Well, it describes this sheriff's department today.
All right, very good. Use that. So, well, anyway, we got to rely upon you. Yes, your website, please. I believe my audience would like to check this time more seriously about what Bob can do, what Bob have done so far, and what's the problem so far so with this with the current sheriff and current department. And there are lots of things you can do, and also the advisory board. I believe lots of my audience would have interest to do so.
Yes.
And please remember, keep in mind to call me. All right. And you, the address, please. I mean the website.
The website is Bob, B-O-B, the number 4, sheriff.com.
Oh, right.
So Bob, the number 4, sheriff.
BobForSheriff.com. That's easy.
Yes.
That's easy. BobForSheriff.com, right? And I believe that if you can remember right away, the screen has it. So when you take a note and you go there, find out. And you want to donate to support, though, everything is there, right?
You can donate or you can volunteer to just help me out in telling people and giving them the message that we want to make advisory committees.
And later on, the yard signs.
And yard signs.
Yard sign later on, right?
Yes, they can. Right. Yes, we can put yard signs in yards.
Okay, my dear audience, thank God we have hope. The hope pins in Bob Lindsay, my dear friend, candidate for county sheriff of LA, and I love the fact that he has not only the experience needed, the guts to tackle the problem, but also the wisdom. Wisdom and guts are different things.
Yes.
You may be a smart guy with lots of wisdom, but you don't have a gut, right? And
That's right.
He has the gut. And then all together, you're talking about experiences. It looks that the problem put together, not a word holes can describe. The goddamn dam is crashed.
It's down.
It's down. London Bridge is down with it.
Yes, London Bridge is falling.
It's falling, all right. The London Bridge is falling. Yeah. Oh, my fair lady, something like that kind. All right. Now, my dear friends, We're over time, a little over time. Oh, no, not little, but we're happy. We did it. I'm especially happy that we did the checkpoints, right, like that kind. So to my audience, thank you very much. Thank you for your support to Bob. Yeah, and to Bob, thank you very much, right, for supporting the community.
Thank you.
Right.